And a warm welcome to Ironbridge Gorge, home of Bliss Hill Victorian Town. I'm Anna and I'm here to bring you all the coverage on Bike Channel of the Ludgate Finance Queen Victoria Cyclecross. Now this is a very special event to me because I once held the National Under-11 Cyclecross National Championship title. I got into the spirit of things by joining in with a little Victorian fancy dress. We talked to the families that have come to support today's race. We take an in-depth look at the course. And meet some of the characters racing at today's event. Cyclecross is considered by some as a bit of a steeplechase on modified road bikes. Many love it. Some people describe it as a bit of a muddy hell. It's an extremely popular discipline, both for riders for its gruelling courses that are guaranteed to make you fitter, and for spectators for the warm and welcoming atmosphere. Earlier on, I had a chat with some of the families to find out what makes this event so special. So I've just run into a couple of lads who are scouting out the course and apparently they're racing this evening. So what are your names?
Sam. Leo.
Have you ever been here before to this museum? What do you think of it?
Good.
What do you like about it?
The tram.
Yeah.
The lifting, the fairgrounds and the money.
Do you know what category you're going to be in?
Probably the under-12s.
Okay, I think there's going to be a lot of kids racing tonight. Do you guys fancy your chances at maybe winning?
Yeah.
Yeah? So I'm catching up now with Mr. Jego, who is the brains behind this event and the organiser and everything else in between. And what you're expecting to see tonight?
Well, we've got record entries this year and that's great to see. We've got the Vets race is the biggest one. I'm not quite sure why. We've got lots of youngsters as well and that's probably my favourite race. But there's races for all categories. We've even got balance bike racing. One of the limiting factors is, as you'll have seen, it's quite narrow, so there's a limit on the number of riders that we can get on. But I'd certainly like to see some of the big stars of cyclocross to come and try the racing here.
First off the start line was the Tykes and Urchins race, which is the under-12 category. Now cyclocross is a great discipline for getting young riders into cycle racing because of its accessibility. Some, however, are extremely competitive. In this race, we had Jasmine Alexander from Lichfield City, Arlie Berry from Redditch, Kai Buckley from Derby, and Kate Gamwell from Macclesfield, to name just a few. What category were you in?
I was in the under-10s. I was in the under-12s.
So you're in the under-12s, and how was your race for you?
It was okay. I came around the corner and I slipped. I fell over it, but I got back on.
Well done! So you actually managed to finish the race?
Yeah, I came second.
And you managed to come second. That's absolutely amazing. Well done. Are you quite an experienced cyclocross rider?
Yeah, we do cyclecross Yorkshire series.
How does this event differ from some of the other cyclocrosses that you do?
Usually it's all on grass, not on gravel and tarmac.
Okay, so the terrain made it a little bit different.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
about you? How is it for you?
Good.
Yeah? What happened in your race?
I was chasing a boy all the way through him, and he only just got me at the end of the line.
Oh, so it was really, really close. Have you ever beaten this boy before? Do you know who he is?
Yeah, he's called Lucas.
Okay. And is he your main rival? Do you sometimes beat him and he sometimes beats you?
Yes.
Do you guys want to come back here next year and race?
Yes.
Yes. All right, fantastic. Thank you. Harriet and Ted, are you brother and sister? Do you know each other? And how much cyclocross do you normally do?
We do a bit of both. Like Ted's more of a footballer, and I'm more of a mountain biker. But occasionally we do cyclocross.
What do you think of this place, this venue for a race? What do you think of it? It's very different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good actually.
What do you like about it?
There's like grassy parts, gravel parts, slippy bits, so it's got all of it really. There's some really steep hills and some downhills that you need to be aware of other people around you.
Do you think that you'll ever come back here with your families just to have a look around the museum?
Yeah.
You're watching Bike Channel and this is Queen Victoria Cyclecross, and as you've seen the course is pretty brutal, and that was just the under-12s race. I heard that the adults race was even harder, so I had a look around the course. It might not look like it right now here on the outskirts of town, but in a couple of hours time this is where it's all going to be kicking off, the start of the bike race. That whole first section is set to be super speedy with plenty of room for overtaking. Riders will be jostling up until this point where you're entering the woods, and it's the first incline that's going to slow that speed down. But this is where the pain games start. True for any cyclocross race, there has to be a part where all the riders are forced off of their bikes. Here at the Queen Victoria Cyclecross, it takes form in some extremely steep steps running next to the old mining tracks. Now we've seen the climb where riders will have to lug their bikes up the hill, and now we're about halfway round and riders are going to be coming down this steep, fast and technical descent, shooting off into the town. It's a brutal course from what I've seen so far, with barely any room for rider respite. The racers will have gone down that technical descent, and before they even have a chance to gather themselves, they'll be climbing back up this really aggressive ascent. After climbing up that horrible hill, the riders will find themselves here in the heart of the Victorian town, which is really what this place is all about. But the racers won't have time to take in their surroundings. But I personally quite fancy seeing what they're going to be racing through and taking in these small buildings. Beautiful as it was, that outfit was very restrictive and not very practical for such an outdoors event. Next up was the chimney sweeps and vagabond race, and we had Alexander Ward from Wolverhampton, Jaden Randall from Malvern and Josh Field from Howes Owen, to name just a few of the young riders. Well, you guys look pretty serious about it all. Tell me about how the race just went just then.
So me and Tom were away, and it was just like up the hill was extremely hard because everybody was like traffic jammed and kept running up when you could actually ride up it, and it was a bit annoying really, and try and get out the way and stuff. Yeah.
Like you guys are having a real whale of a time as well as getting into this sport. How did you get into it in the first place?
I watched like the Tour of Britain on telly. I just said I wanted one of those bikes and we started.
Oh, brilliant. And what do you think of this venue for a cyclocross course?
It's good. I don't like the part where it's the rubble because you have a good chance of coming off.
Well, you did really well to hold it. Well done, guys. It was a great battle. So congratulations. Okay, so we've got a team of riders here. I'm going to speak to you two first, find out how you got on in the race.
The race was pretty hard up the train tracks at the top, but generally it was very easy. Like, well, yeah.
Did you do well in your race?
Yeah, did.
Where did you come?
I'm not sure at the minute.
Oh, so you're still waiting for your result? Oh, nerve-wracking times. And what about you? How did you get on?
I think it was good, but the gravel was quite slipping in the corners and quite tight as well.
So you enjoyed your race. Have you been watching any of the other races today?
I watched the other ones as well.
Who have you been cheering on and what's been going on?
All the Redditch team, pretty much. Not much, just normal riding.
So do you guys travel around to lots of different cyclocross races together?
Pretty much, yeah. Like all over the West Midlands mainly.
And what do you think to this event particularly compared to other cyclocrosses?
I think it's quite good, this one. It's like quite well organised. Yeah.
Okay, cool, thanks. Don't go anywhere. We've got plenty more to bring you from the Queen Victoria Cyclecross after the break.